Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest is Deirdre Maloney. She is an entrepreneur, mom of four, and the founder of Highgate Racing, Canada's largest all-female competitive cycling team. How are you doing today, Deirdre?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on.
Well, thank you for agreeing to be part of my mission and my movement, and it's a pleasure having you, and I appreciate you agreeing to do this and be here with me today.
Absolutely.
So, you have quite the resume and the story. As I alluded to in the introduction, you're a mom of four kids. You're the founder and title sponsor and team captain of Canada's largest all-female competitive cycling team, Highgate Racing. You're the co-founder of a women's support group. You own a property management company with your husband and a real estate brokerage. You're a newly titled author. First book, I'm assuming. I mean, this is incredible. How on earth do you do and keep up with all that you're doing and going on?
Well, to be honest with you, my head is spinning on most days.
I'm sure.
The key to it is honestly teamwork with my husband. He is my biggest supporter. Keeping a positive attitude is obviously essential, and we all have our shitty days, yet we still need to be able to pick ourselves up and go at it again and never stop striving for our dreams. Some days are a struggle and some days are a breeze, but when you have the right support systems in place, you can really accomplish anything. And honestly, I struggle with the balance of wanting to be the best wife, the best mom, the best teacher, a support for my team, and still develop my own career. So I feel really pulled in so many directions.
Yeah.
And honestly, I've done a lot of therapy to help me learn these strategies to cope and not get too stressed out or overwhelmed. But I feel like a lot of women, this would resonate with them where, you know, we're wearing so many hats and we're trying to do it all. And honestly, it's exhausting some days. So going back to what I said, it's the teamwork with my husband that really helps me.
Yeah, support systems are absolutely key for sure. You have to have a good one in place. And I mean, when you're doing so much on a day-to-day and raising children and trying to have a career, it's a lot for sure. So support system is definitely key.
Yes.
So I read a bit about your story, and you faced a lot of struggles with drugs and alcohol and sex abuse when you were younger. How did these struggles help shape the woman you've become today, would you say?
Yeah, I've had to overcome some real adversity in my life. You know, as you mentioned, there was some drugs abuse and sexual abuse and rape and, you know, lots of misfortune that happened to me in my younger years. And what I think it gave me is compassion and empathy. So I have a perspective on life that most people don't get to see. And as much as it could be seen as a curse to have had all of these horrible things happen, I like to look at it as a blessing because I have that compassion and empathy for other people.
That's pretty incredible to have that outlook going through all that you've gone through. But I guess on the other side of that too, if you don't, you're going to self-destruct.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You cannot let it take you down. Dealing with all that
stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. We have to drop the victim mentality. It's the only way to heal.
So how have those experiences you've been through helped you with parenting and raising kids?
Well, a lot of therapy really helped me dig into who I am and how my children see me. So our experiences and our environment really shape us, and it leads us to the decision. It led me and my husband to the decision to actually homeschool our children. So I know most people are homeschooling right now. We're in COVID, but we've homeschooled our kids since the beginning.
Oh, wow.
And Yeah, so I've seen so much ugly out there, and
Yeah.
I was left completely unsupported as a child, in school and in different situations. And I just wanted my kids to have a different experience.
Yeah.
So we are very present in their lives. We meditate as a family every evening. After the
That's
2-year-old goes
amazing.
to bed, it is amazing. And I see the benefits. I see them in myself, and I'm starting to see them in my kids. We've been doing it for about 6 months now.
Yeah.
And we have very deep conversations with them about communication, relationships, and wealth. And we really focus on their well-being.
Yeah.
And so I think coming from parents that were a little bit emotionally void,
Yeah.
it gives me that perspective to see like, oh no, I want something different for my children.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, starting all of this stuff at a young age with your kids is, I think, anyways, with children is key, because that way these behaviors and values and so on get learned, they get ingrained into the kids so that it just becomes part of their life. That's just, they don't know any different. That's just how they do things and how they get through.
Yeah, exactly. I think setting them up with the tools
Yeah.
while they're so young and their minds are just so open and flexible,
Yeah.
it's just such a benefit for them. And I mean, the meditating, it's just amazing. It's great for your mental health and well-being. And now, sometimes they get irritated with it, like, oh, we gotta meditate. But I think down the road, once that's set up, it's ingrained in their everyday self-care,
Yeah.
they're gonna appreciate it.
Yeah. How old are your kids?
So the youngest is 2,
Yeah.
and then there's 8-year-old, 9-year-old, and those two are extremely close. And then my
Yeah.
oldest is 21, and that's from
Okay.
a previous relationship. So she's
Right.
my husband's stepdaughter.
Right. How did these past experiences affect your relationships with your family members and men you came into contact with after your relationship with your first daughter's father?
So a lot of the experiences that I had before I met my oldest daughter's father, and as well, my relationship with him was really toxic, very abusive.
Yeah.
So afterwards, it left me with really low self-worth. And I was choosing men that had a very low vibration. They weren't looking to excel in life. And I really couldn't see that I deserved better. So I was okay with the crumbs because I was so traumatized. So it took me a while to work through that and really see my worth.
What would you say was the wake-up call or light bulb moment you had in order to pull yourself out of that life you had been immersed in for so long?
Yeah, so I had a friend confront me about my drug use when I was around 25.
Yeah.
Their words exactly, I'll never forget them, were, you are a mother, you're supposed to be setting an example for your daughter, you should be ashamed of yourself. And
Wow.
in that moment, I finally was. It was like a slap in the face. I was very ashamed. And because it was a recognition for me, I always tried to brush off my problem, like, well, I only use on the weekends, or it's just Thursday to Sunday. It's not a big
Yeah.
deal. If I was really an addict, I would be using 7 days a week, because I was a high functioning addict. I would still go to
Okay.
work and I still took good care of my daughter. But I partied all night. So, that was a slap in the face, and I just quit the drugs cold turkey. I dropped
Wow.
all of my friends. I got on medication to treat bipolar disorder, which I had been diagnosed with.
Right.
And that was something that came on after all of the trauma I had experienced.
Uh-huh.
And then I read the book called The Secret.
Okay.
And this book absolutely changed my life. The chapter on relationships and finances, I treated that like it was God's word. And I followed everything that it said. I believed it. I immersed myself in it. And then just a few months later, I met my husband and we started to build our dream life together.
Wow. That's pretty incredible for all you've been through, and words from a friend and a book just kind of turned you 180 and changed your life. That's amazing.
Yeah, I was just very lucky that I cued into it right at that time and was able to make the shift.
How did you get involved with cycling and become the founder of the largest all-female competitive cycling team in Canada? Can you explain how this all came to be and where the name for the team came from?
Yeah, so the name for the team, so it's Highgate Racing, and our family business is Highgate Properties.
Okay.
That's our real estate brokerage and property management company. So we started out as the title sponsor for the team.
Mm-hmm.
And so how I got into cycling is actually I started running. So after our first two children together, we had them back to back, so they're only a
Yeah.
year apart. And I had severe postpartum depression, which is very common when mental illness is already in place.
Right.
And our marriage was really rocky at the time. We just weren't connecting. And we decided that we needed to find a way to connect. So we took up running because I knew that it was going to get me back in shape. I would
Yeah.
start feeling better. It would relieve the depression. And then it would give us that time, one-on-one time together.
Yeah.
So we ended up hiring a coach, and she was a pro triathlete. So after a few sessions with her, she started, why don't you guys get a bike? And maybe you should try swimming. And we just were so amazed by her. She was so fit, and, she was doing half Ironmans, and this was all new to us. So,
Yeah.
we jumped on board and we decided to get involved in triathlon. And so I did triathlon for 3 years. I started out as a complete beginner,
Yeah.
and I climbed my way up to the top of my age group.
Wow.
So I was, usually first or second in my age group, and then top 10 overall in the races.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I was doing really well. I'm a really competitive and passionate person. So when I pick something up, I run with it. And eventually, though, the running really took a toll on my knees.
Yeah.
So I decided that cycling was my strong suit of those three sports.
Yeah.
And my husband had already made the transition over to cycling competitively and not doing triathlon anymore. So I followed suit and I jumped into the cycling scene. And I fell in love with it. And then after 2 years, I started to see some inequality on the teams in terms of support and platform between men and women.
Yeah.
And now women make up a small percentage of cycling. Honestly, could be 10%. I don't know the exact statistics.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're a really small group out there. So it makes sense that we don't get a lot of platform and sponsorship or support when you're
Right.
on a mixed gender team.
Yeah.
But I just thought, no, I really want a place where women feel seen, they feel supported. And I decided to start my own team. It just started out with 7 girls. We were all friends. I never imagined this really going further than that. And then just the next year, we were like 15 people. And then, one of the ladies that's on my team suggested starting a youth development program. So now we have this awesome youth development program where we support athletes that are under the age of 23. I raise money for them to get them kits, nutrition, cycling fees paid for, coaching paid for, and then they just have so much support. And it's not just about the financial support of the sport, but then we also encourage them to write blogs for the team and do volunteer work. So, we're trying to shape them in like all different aspects of their life. And I just found it to be really rewarding for me because cycling, exercise changed my life. It saved my marriage.
Yeah.
I have a real passion for it. And I want to see other girls stay in the sport. I don't want them leaving based on affordability.
Yeah.
Because cycling is really expensive. It can cost up to $10,000 a year.
Wow.
And that's not including getting a new bike. Yeah, it's really expensive. So I don't want to see girls leaving the sport based on affordability, especially once they get into college and university. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is pretty incredible. I mean, it's so selfless and just amazing the things you're doing. I think it's incredibly admirable and an amazing thing you're doing to help all these young women and creating this team and providing a bigger platform for women to be more visible in the cycling world. And it's just, you should be very, very proud of yourself and what you're doing. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. And now this year our team is 26 women. So
wow.
It's really impressive.
Good for you. Congratulations. That's amazing. And where do you guys compete? How does the competition part of it play in? Like, how does that all work?
So there's different disciplines in cycling. We have track, and the velodrome is in Milton, Ontario. Yeah. Then we have road, and the road series goes all across Ontario, like, Peterborough, Waterloo. There's cycling races all around. Then there's mountain biking, so that all the different forests around the trails, they do stuff there. And then there's also cross. which
Okay.
is another form. So you have different bikes for all these different
Wow.
disciplines. And
Yeah.
then our team is mostly road and track,
Okay.
but everybody sort of branches off and dabbles a little bit in other things as well.
Right. And so
Yeah, so it's just all over Ontario.
how do you decide which competitions you're going to enter or races you're going to enter the team into? And is it all of you that, like, let's say you decide on a road race, is it all of you that enter the road race from your team, or how does that all work?
Well, there's different divisions. So we have Masters, which is age 30 and up. Then we
Okay.
have Elite 3, which is, I believe, over 17
Yeah.
to any age.
Yeah.
And then if you're an Elite 3, it means you want to move up to Elite 1, 2, which is the highest level of competitive cycling before you hit the Olympics.
Oh, wow.
And so our team is divided up into these different sections. So
Right.
let's say we have like 8 E1, 2 riders, then we have 5 Elite 3s, and then we have, 15 Masters. And so, yeah, showing up to a race, combined, it could be 15 riders going to one race, but they may do different categories.
Right. Right. And do you have to
So we have,
pay to participate in these races?
you do. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
about $60 to $80 usually per race. If you get
Okay.
up to the bigger ones, sometimes we head over to the States and they have bigger like stage races, which
Yeah.
last like multiple days.
Yeah.
Then you're paying more for that.
Right.
Yeah, but generally the races aren't too expensive. It's more the equipment, the
Yeah.
bikes, the traveling. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Now, you're also the co-founder of a women's support group. Can you tell us a bit about that and how that came to be and who you founded the group with?
Yeah, so I was really depressed when I got pregnant with my fourth child. So
Mm-hmm.
he's 2 now.
Yeah.
I had extreme anxiety. I was even having some suicidal thoughts. I stopped going out with my friends. Basically, I had gotten pregnant with an IUD in, so we
Yeah.
weren't planning on having any more children.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons was because of the postpartum depression. I actually did always want 4 kids, but we
Yeah.
said no, it was just too hard to deal with the postpartum. We knew most likely I would have it again. So I had the IUD in and I got pregnant. And when we found out, I was already 3 months pregnant. And, I was training with my cycling and it
Yeah.
was not going well. And I couldn't understand why because I didn't realize I was pregnant.
Right.
And so I was kind of devastated because, I was in year 2. I was going to be starting year 2 of my team, Highgate. My husband was into competitive cycling. We had training camps planned for the entire winter to be traveling away. And I just, we weren't planning on having a baby. So it was just shocking. And so I went into a really deep depression. I had to give up my cycling and, my husband continued on. So I kind of like watch him carry on with his dreams, but I have to stop with mine. So it was a really difficult time. And then on top of it, because the IUD was still inside, there was a 50% chance of survival for the baby.
Oh, man.
So now I have to have this high risk pregnancy that may not survive that I wasn't anticipating on having. So it was just very emotional and I was isolating myself. So my husband was pushing me to go get help. He's like, you need help, you're not okay. And I was always a big advocate of therapy and we'd done a lot of therapy together already. So me not wanting to go, he saw this as like a real sign that I have a serious problem.
Yeah.
So I found a new therapist and she was just a blessing. She was just amazing, so supportive. And she ran a women's support group with another therapist. And I asked her about it and she's like, you should totally check it out. So I'd never done anything like this before. And I decided, okay, I'm going to go. I was probably about 6 months pregnant at the time, and I was desperate to get healthy for the birth of the baby because I knew I needed to sort some stuff out to be able to possibly not have postpartum depression after this one.
Right.
So I went in there full force. I told my entire story, start to finish, all the struggles that I'd been through, and shared some of my biggest shame, which is that my highest level of education is only grade 8.
Yeah.
That I was involved in underage prostitution at the age of 16.
Jeez.
And, when I shared these things, they just wrapped their arms around me and they wrapped their words around me. And they told me that my story was one of triumph. And I felt a kind of support from these women that really changed my life. I saw that we are all connected through them and that we all understand shame, fear, abandonment, guilt. Even though our stories are different, the feelings are the same. So I attended that group for 2 years.
Yeah.
And once I felt grounded and safe and secure, a few of us from the group branched off to start our own group. And we each kind of brought someone in that we thought would be a good fit.
Yeah.
And now there are 10 of us. We started as 4 originals, and then now there's 10 of us, and we meet every Friday afternoon and we dish up our struggles and we support each other. And it's so amazing and beautiful. And I wish for more men and women both to have some kind of sense of community like this, because it's just so deep and raw, and it's this unconditional support.
That's incredible. So how long has the support group been in existence now?
So we just hit our 1-year anniversary.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
You have so much going on and are doing so much to help other people. It's so inspiring, Deirdre. You are complete inspiration with all you've been through and all you have accomplished and still are working on and accomplishing. And you're truly an inspiration. It's amazing.
Thank you.
So I assume you created this group, obviously, to help other women who have been through or are going through similar struggles to what you experienced. How has creating this group been therapeutic and helpful to you?
Yeah, so all of the women were there really for different reasons.
Right.
And I believe that the common thread for us is that everyone seems to have low self-worth from whatever trauma that they've experienced, whether it's emotional neglect, sexual abuse, physical abuse, or some kind of loss in their life.
Right.
And so when you can see that common thread that, you share the same feelings, even though the stories are different, it just gives you this sense of community and belonging. I think a sense of belonging is so important that it's something that we need. We need to feel like we belong to a group. And that's what it gives me, is that sense of I belong here. These people understand me.
Amazing. Absolutely incredible. Now, another one of your ventures, another one of the many hats you wear, you own a property management and real estate brokerage business. How did that whole thing come about?
Okay, yeah. So my husband started the company a year before we started dating.
Okay.
And when we met, he was 25 and he was running it out of his bedroom at his parents' house. His father had been quite successful in real estate, and so he had that mentorship. And I remember 2 years into our marriage, we got married a year after we started dating, so it was very quick. So 2 years into our marriage, we were sitting outside in the evening, and at the time, we managed about 60 properties, and our income had just hit 6 figures. Wow. And he says to me, all we need to do is get up to 100 properties, then we will have made it. And now we're at 600 properties. Holy and we're looking towards 1,000. So it's funny to look back, when you're young and what your dreams are, and then, where you're able to go, and you can just keep building on it. So I think it's really important. One of the things for our success is that we're not afraid to dream out loud or to put crazy expectations out there. Real estate gave us financial freedom to the point that my husband just took 2 years off of work. So we've been traveling about 10 months over that 2 years. Amazing. And we were blessed that his brother was able to step up and run the company for us. And he's now 50-50 partner.
Wow.
And it's given us
600 properties. That's insane.
Yeah, so we manage 600 properties in Toronto, like Southern Ontario.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty big small business.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So the goal was to hit 100 properties and you're golden.
Yeah.
Now it's to hit 1,000 because you're at 600.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the real estate brokerage then, what part does that play? Like, how did that come about then? Because you're talking about the property management side, right?
Yeah. So the property management is probably the bigger part of the business.
Okay.
They feed off of each other. So the real estate, the brokerage, how it works is that if one of our clients wants to sell their investment property, then now we have like 300 other possible buyers that we
Right.
can reach out to. Hey, this is a great investment property. It makes this much money. Would you be interested in, are you interested in buying? So then we can run the business, the buying and selling business through the brokerage from the property management company. So they kind of work off of each other, which is really nice.
Amazing. Now, did you go to school and did you go take the courses to get your real estate license or brokerage license, all that stuff?
No, so my husband has the broker
Right.
license, and then
Okay.
he already had the real estate license, so
Right.
everything runs through him. And then his brother has his real estate license too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. That is so incredible. Wow. Just you're amazing me here. Every question I ask, just just incredible. You're an incredible
The story
human.
keeps growing.
Yeah, it's amazing. So Deirdre, you've also written a book. Can you tell us a bit about that, when it's coming out, and please just give us a brief overview of what the book's all about?
Yeah, I would love to. I'm really excited about this. So the
sure.
title is Unfold Me, and it digs into my darkest secrets and reveals the process I went through to release the relentless thoughts of not being good enough. So it's a lesson on self-acceptance in the deepest way. I truly believe that we must face the darkest parts of ourselves and our paths in order to be wholehearted. So sitting in the fire of our difficult emotions is the only way through them. I felt so much shame and fear, and it was debilitating for me.
Mm-hmm.
I had lots of unprocessed trauma. So I already spoke of, the sexual abuse, the rape. I was using alcohol by the age of 12. I was using drugs by the age of 14, and then a sex worker by the age of 16.
Wow.
And then at 18, I get pregnant, and I'm in a very abusive relationship, both physically and mentally, more mentally.
Yeah.
And I stayed with him for 7 years through a prison sentence. He was a drug dealer at a really high level. And it's a miracle that I was able to rise up out of that lifestyle and move on and become highly successful. It is another miracle. So
Absolutely.
I want other people to hear my story so that they can have hope, so that they may be able to let go of their own fear and shame for whatever may be holding them back in life. And if they see me owning these dark parts of myself, I believe that it will help them heal their own relationship with themselves. So that's my goal with the book.
That's amazing.
It's currently in editing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's expected to be published this September 2020. So
wow, that's incredible.
You can also read other parts of my story at my blog, which is theunfoldingproject.com.
Beautiful. I mean, that's hopefully, and usually that's what it is it takes one person, as I'm sure with your support group that you have. It just takes one person to stand up and talk about what they've been through to help make others feel comfortable, and then they start unfolding, as you use the word unfold yourself. I guess it's more like a giving a permission type thing, I guess.
Exactly. And I felt I got that permission. I read Glennon Doyle's book, Love Warrior, a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just astonished at how raw she was and how openly she talked about her eating disorders and alcoholism and her struggles. And I was like, oh my gosh, if she can talk about this stuff, I can talk about my stuff too. So like you said, it lends permission to others to open up.
Well, I think it's an amazing thing you're doing. And again, you are an incredibly inspirational woman with all you've been through, and to sit down and actually write about it. I mean, how painful was that because obviously you had to relive the memories when you're writing the book. How painful was that for you writing the book? It
went through phases. So I would have to take breaks from it sometimes, for like a month or 6 weeks and just kind of put it away. It was funny that actually the last chapter was the most difficult one for me to write because I felt like I was closing it off.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like I was ready to let go of it yet. It was kind of like become my baby. So the last chapter, even though it's like the inspiring part of like how I, the different steps I went through to get to like my dream life, I still struggled to get that one written. Yeah.
What made you decide to sit down and write a book about your life though? Like how did that whole thing come about? And how did you shop it around to get it published?
Well, I'm self-publishing. So I'm taking a marketing course and like a self-publishing course. So I'm doing it all on my own.
Yet a few more hats you're wearing. It's incredible. You are truly inspirational. It's amazing.
Yeah, I did think about shopping around to get it published, but then I had a friend that she has a similar story and she published hers through a traditional publisher, and she said she just didn't get them to have the control she wanted. She didn't make the
Right.
kind of money she wanted. So I really want this to be in my hands,
Yeah.
and I'll take responsibility for it. So, um, sorry, there was another part to that question I think I
Um,
missed,
um,
or
how,
maybe I caught it all.
no, I think you caught it all.
Oh,
I think,
what made me decide to write
yes.
it?
Yes. What
Oh,
made you sit
yes.
down and decide to
Okay.
write a book about it?
So, in the group therapy, one of the activities for healing that we did was to write down she said, started out, there once was a little girl, and then just write and kind of like write about yourself. And so I did that and I started writing, and then I just couldn't stop writing and writing and writing and writing. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I kind of have the beginning of a book here.
Yeah.
And I thought, and then, I remembered, like I mentioned, Love Warrior, the book I'd read, and I kind of, I do have a really powerful, interesting story. It's kind
Yeah.
of like a movie almost. I think I should just go for this and just try it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I just decided to just keep going and keep writing,
Wow.
and that was it.
Very
Here we
cool.
are.
Now, how long did it take you to write the book?
Okay, so it was exactly a year to write.
Okay.
And sometimes I would sit down and I would write multiple chapters in a week. And then, like I said, sometimes I had to step away from it
Yeah.
because it was just too painful, or also painful, but then fear would set in. And
Yeah.
I'd say to myself, and I kept going to my husband, I'm like, babe, I'm going to publish this. Like, people are going to read this stuff about me. They're
Yeah.
going to know your wife used to be a prostitute. Are you sure you're okay with this?
Yeah.
He's just like, no, just don't think about it. Just go with it. Like, just do it.
That's
He was
awesome.
always so supportive, and never thought about himself. Always was just like, you need to get this out there. This is just going to help people. So it took me a year, and so I started writing it exactly a year ago now. So now it's in editing, like with a professional editor, and that'll be about 2 months before it's polished up and clean and ready to go.
And ready for the world to read.
Yes.
Amazing. When you look back on your life now, if you could go back and change how things happened, would you make any changes?
I wouldn't. People ask me this often, especially if I do a public speaking event. They will ask, would you change anything? And honestly, I wouldn't change one thing. I am so empathetic. I'm driven. I'm so loving. And I know that all of these experiences I went through have shaped me into that person.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love who I am. And I'm grateful for the life that I get to live today. And I would never want to travel that path again.
Yeah.
But it definitely made me strong as fuck.
It made you who you are today. I mean, clearly you're driven. That's very obvious.
Yeah.
What excites you about being an entrepreneur?
Oh, so much. I really like the flexibility, creating my own schedule, being able to work from abroad, no ceiling on your income.
Yeah.
And, there's just so much freedom. And I think you have to take a lot of risk to get it off the ground. And, there's a lot of fear there. But once you start to fly, the benefits are boundless.
Awesome. To date, what would you say is your biggest high or your greatest win?
I'm going to have to say being in a successful marriage.
Yeah.
So we have put so much time and energy to create a solid partnership. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think it's the hardest thing I've ever done. Most people will say parenting is the most difficult thing, and that's definitely up there for me.
Yeah.
But my husband and I, we both brought a lot of baggage and ego into our marriage, and to sort through it and finally accept each other for so many of our own shortcomings, and then build this insane bond that everyone benefits from, my kids, our business, friends, and most importantly, each other.
Yeah.
That has to be my biggest win in life. I mean, divorce rate is so high, right? And just to be able to make it work and be able to make it work and be like really happy and really solid with each other. So for me, that's a win.
Well, that's the key. It takes work. And I think that people more often than not are so quick to walk away and say, fuck this, I'm done, throw their hands up in the air and say, forget it. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
You have to.
And I understand. I understand, because there's days, where I've been like, I don't know if I can do this. And then you just try one more time, and you can push through some pretty intense stuff if you just are willing to do the work and are willing to put down your own ego.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you feel inspired or like your best self?
Honestly, I think spending time with high vibe friends. So friends that build each other up. I love giving support, but I also like receiving support. And I think that just absolutely lights me up. So I have a couple girlfriends that if I get together with them, I just know that I'm going to be flying high.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. That support system, again, it's in so much in life and in so many aspects of life, it's key to have that support system there.
Yeah. We need it.
And to return that support too.
Yeah. 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 You got to be able to give it if you want to get it.
Yeah. It's truly a two-way street.
Yeah.
What's something people seem to misunderstand about you?
That I am fake nice. So my girlfriend, a year ago, we were having lunch and she says to me, you know, when I first met you, she actually started out as my, as a coach for me when I was doing triathlon. She was my second coach.
Okay.
And became very good friends. Now we're one of my best friends and she's on my cycling team.
Yeah.
And she says to me, when I first met you, you know, the first few times, I just thought like you were so nice. And she was like, this cannot be real. She's putting it on.
Nobody's this nice.
Yeah, nobody's this nice. This is not real. And she said, and then the years kept going by and you just consistently kept showing up as that person. And I realized, no, that's really you. You are really a nice person. So I think some people, when you know, like I have my youth development program and I'm trying to raise all this money for these girls and I just give. Some people think like there's something behind that. She's, you know, she's getting something out of this or she's a taker in some way. But no, it just is like I've had such a hard life and honestly, nobody helped me. And I want to do that for other people, even if they don't need it the way I needed it when I was young. I think we all need some kind of support, right?
Yes,
and who doesn't
absolutely.
want that to be embraced?
Yep.
And seen. So that's my thing is when I interact with someone, I want them to feel seen.
It's just part of your DNA. It's part of who you are.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's your genetic makeup, period.
Yes.
What would you say is one of the most important things you've learned in your life? And what was your life like before learning it? And what was your life like after learning it?
Oh, okay. One of the most important things I've learned is probably to believe in myself. After reading The Secret, as I mentioned earlier, it really opened up my mind and helped me to harness my own power. In the past, I just gave my power away to everyone. I had no healthy boundaries in place and I felt like I had no control over my life.
Yeah.
And then now, after learning this power that I have, I trust myself, I believe in myself, and I am in the driver's seat. So I know exactly what I want and where I want to go. And, you know, they're really two completely different mindsets. So once you can make that switch over, it's life-changing.
That's fucking powerful as hell.
Yeah, to see your own power, to realize you are a powerful being, and we all are.
Yeah. It's just, again, I think, as I've said this many times, I think everyone's journey starts from within and self-love. That's where everything begins, with that self-love. And then you just flourish from there, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Who have been three of the most influential people in your life, would you say?
Oh, three influential people. So I'm going to say my husband for sure.
Yeah.
He's the most motivated, unbiased, and self-reflective person that I know. And he teaches me so much just about being a great human.
Yeah.
Then my mother. So she was really emotionally distant. So she taught me sort of things that I didn't want to be as a mother. She showed me that I've wanted to be more involved in my kids' life and wanted to be closer to them and have physical contact with them. She also gave me my passion for cooking and baking. Okay. So I'm also working on a plant-based cookbook right now.
Oh, very cool. Look at you, man. Is there anything that you're not doing?
I drive my husband crazy.
This seems never ending. There's something at every turn. I love it.
So the cookbook I'm doing to raise funds for my youth development program and my cycling team.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I'm really passionate about plant-based eating. I try to get
Okay.
people to eat more plants.
Yeah.
So I'm doing the plant-based cookbook, and then 10% of the profits will go into my youth development program for my team.
Amazing.
So my mom gave me that love for cooking. So I'd say
Yeah.
she was definitely influential.
Yeah.
And then my third person, fitness is such a big part of my life that I'm going to have to say my very first personal trainer. Her name was Angie. I
Uh-huh.
was about 21 years old. And she completely changed my life. I had never worked out before. I was the kid in school that ran away from the volleyball coming at you. And so to go from not working out ever to now being the founder of Canada's largest female cycling team,
Yeah.
she had a big impact on my life. And then I actually also worked as a personal trainer for 10 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And she was also so beautiful. She was beautiful inside and
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
And up to that point in my life, physically beautiful women had always been cold and mean, as my experience.
Right.
So she was my first introduction to someone who's beautiful outside that was just so beautiful inside.
Yeah.
And so it kind of was able to change my perspective of what real beauty was.
Yeah.
So that was, yeah, she really inspired me.
Amazing. It's great to have that and those role models and teachers in life. I mean, life is all about learning, and to have people there to help and guide you. And again, it goes back to the support system in place, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What would you say you feel most grateful for in your life right now?
I'm going to say my wealth. And wealth to me means sort of an abundance of everything that includes my family, my health, my passion, my financial security. I feel like I have it all, and it is a real blessing. And I don't go a day without being grateful for it.
Amazing. If you could hold on to one memory from your life forever, which one would it be?
Holding a newborn baby.
Yeah.
So remembering that, the birth of your child and holding them on your chest and nursing them for the first time, it's just, that's life, and it's so magical.
How would you like to be remembered?
I really want to leave a legacy, and I hope that my team and my writing do that for me. I want to be remembered as someone who gave back to their community.
Well, you're definitely doing that. So
Yeah.
how would you describe yourself?
Oh, competitive is definitely up there. I'm someone who loves to dance, and I will dance by myself on the dance floor if I have to.
Yeah.
I love to laugh. I enjoy corny comedies, and I am a really, really great friend.
Awesome. If you had 24 hours left on Earth, what would you do with that 24 hours?
Oh, my favorite thing in the world to do is to be on the beach. So I think I would go to the beach with my kids. I would soak up their laughter and their love, and I would soak up the sunshine and the water. That is definitely my happy place.
Beautiful. What would you say is one of the best pieces of advice you've ever received?
Oh, best piece of advice. You know what? In marriage counseling, we were asked to use a scale of 1 through 10 when coming to a resolution for a disagreement. So, for example, let's just say I want to go to Sally's party. It's, really important to me.
Yeah.
My husband, he doesn't really like going out and doing those social things. So then I say, look, this party, it's probably a 7 to me. It's pretty important. And then he says to me, you know what? This is a 9 for me, that I don't want to go. I'm really not feeling it. And then I can see his perspective. He's not just saying, no, he doesn't want to go, but I have a number. There's a scale of like, this is really high. He is like almost panicking about going to this party.
Right.
So then I would be able to say, okay, I can see that he doesn't want to go. Honestly, that changed the way we communicated. Like when we would get into those little silly squabbles about who wins the what we're going to do battle.
Right.
And we don't abuse it. Like we're very honest about it. I don't think either of us has ever given a 10. But it's usually balanced where one person will win, and it's not really about winning or losing, but it's about really being able to see the other person, like how they are truly feeling about the situation. It was magical, change the way we communicate for sure.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
What does the word empowerment mean to you?
Empowerment. I like taking responsibility. When I pull up my socks and I get down to business and I stop making excuses or blaming others for things that I feel like I can't get done, I feel so empowered. So I feel like for me, responsibility and empowerment really go hand in hand.
Okay. What would you say is one of your favorite quotes?
So this is one that my husband says to me, and it's don't think, just do. So a lot of times we get really caught up in our heads and
Yes.
keep taking those steps forward. Just keep moving forward. Don't think about it.
Yeah, so often, I mean, we get in our own way. It's
Yes.
we got to be able to step outside of our heads and get the fuck out of our own way in order to get shit accomplished, right? It's a huge hurdle, and it's not easy to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you have to. Otherwise, you'll end up regretting so much shit that you didn't do because you got in your own way.
Yeah, I often say to myself too is, when you're 80, how am I going to look back? Like, I don't want to look back and say, you should have wore the bikini. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I agree 100%. To what extent do you think that we shape our own destiny, and how much is up to fate?
I think I totally shape it. I believe that our thoughts become actions, which become outcomes, and that we have to take responsibility to get what we want. If we leave it up to fate, then it's just sort of we're living this, maybe not the life that we want to live. So I think to have your true dream life, you have to take responsibility.
I love it.
Yeah.
If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
I would say love yourself. I would just tell myself you are absolutely perfect, exactly the way you are. And if you love yourself, you will show up for yourself every day.
That's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, though, as I'm sure you can attest to.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work, but you have to be willing to do the work.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm 40, and I think it wasn't until I was 38 that I really, truly 100% loved myself.
Deirdre, what sound or noise do you absolutely love?
I have to say footsteps. So I love the sound of the footsteps of my husband when he comes home from work, and I know that he's here. It makes me feel so safe. And then my 2-year-old, if he climbs out of his crib and I hear the little footsteps thumping down the hall, it just like fills me up with so much love.
Yeah. Awesome. And lastly, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, what would that last 30 seconds sound like?
I would want to tell people to dream so big and so loud that it scares you. And if you're terrified, then you are on the right path. Take risks, listen to your heart and your inner voice. Take time to sit quietly every day and connect to your higher self. Don't hold grudges. Offer love and forgiveness. It's not for others. It's for your own freedom and peace of mind. Be bold, strong, and courageous. And if you get knocked down, pick your ass up and go at it again. You have purpose. Go after it with your whole heart.
I love that. That ties into this entire interview and how fucking inspiring you are. It's incredible. Your story. And again, I mean, I know that this isn't even a sliver of what you've dealt with and been through and overcome, but what you've shared here is just so inspirational. And I truly appreciate you taking the time out to chat with me and to share a little sliver of your journey and your story in life. And what you're doing is incredibly inspiring. And what you've done is the adversity you've overcome and the struggles you've dealt with is just, you are a true inspirational woman, Deirdre. It's mind-boggling. And it just shows that we as humans can overcome whatever we want to. We just have to put in the work and become the mindset that you can do it.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me on. It was an honor. And thank you for having this platform for women to share their stories.
Oh, it's my absolute pleasure. I love being able to do this chat and hear stories and stories of inspiration, because every single one of them is inspiring. But yours is just wow, mind-boggling what you've been able to accomplish and what you've done up to this point. And I'm sure you have so much more to share and give to the world. So I really, truly appreciate you being here and sharing with me and my audience today and being part of
Thank
this
you.
movement and collective. I love it.
Yes. Collective healing. We're doing it.
That's it. That's it. Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography Podcast. My guest today has been Deirdre Maloney. She is an entrepreneur, an author, a mom of four, and founder of Highgate Racing, Canada's largest all-female competitive cycling team. Thank you, Deirdre. I hope you have an amazing afternoon and a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca and follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.